Good evening. Today is May 27th, 2026, and we are here for the Hendrick Hudson Board of Education meeting. May I ask for a motion to open the meeting?
Motion to open the meeting?
Second.
All in favor? The Board of Education would like to go to executive session. The Hendrick Hudson School District Board of Education will convene for the purpose of collective negotiations under the Taylor Law, medical, financial credit, or employment history of a particular person or corporation, or matters leading to the appointment or employment history of a particular person or corporation, or matters leading to the appointment or employment or promotion or demotion or discipline or suspension or removal of a particular person or corporation. May I ask for a motion to move to and to discuss the superintendent's evaluation. May I ask for a motion to move to executive session?
Motion to move to exec? Second.
All in favor? The board will reconvene at approximately 7 p.m. 6:30 p.m. Good evening and welcome back to the Hendrick Hudson Board of Education meeting. Today is May 27th, 2026. May we all please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. May I ask for a motion to approve the agenda as stated?
Motion to approve the agenda as stated. Second.
All in favor? And now I would like to turn it over to Mr. Tremblay.
Thank you, President Silverman. Well, welcome to everybody who's joining us for this wonderful and special evening. Before we get started with our official retirement recognition ceremony, I want to just mention a word of thanks to a few people who helped make this evening possible. First of all, to Martin Keneally, who was leading the charge on the wonderful caloric-free food and snacks that you have in front of you. Also, to our Assistant Superintendent for Human Resources and Leadership Development, Dr. Stephen Garcia, for helping to arrange, coordinate all of the logistics with this evening, supported also by someone who got to plan her own party this evening, Ms. Fran Dodaro, and also Maura Bistro. These events are truly what bring the thread and unity within a school system together, and these are the important events that we need to celebrate, and we're looking forward to doing that as a community this evening. So without further ado, welcome to our retirement ceremony. Tonight we gather to celebrate and honor the remarkable careers of our retiring colleagues. On behalf of the Hendrick Hudson Central School District, I want to express my deepest appreciation for your years to our retirees of unwavering dedication and our schools, and most importantly, the students that we all serve. Our retirees have poured their energy into creating environments where our youth can thrive, and for that we, and I am personally, profoundly grateful. I also want to extend a special and heartfelt thanks to the family members who are joining this evening. We know that the level of commitment required to positively impact students takes significant time and energy away from our own families. You as a family have shared your loved ones with us, supporting them through long days and busy seasons. We recognize the sacrifices you have made to allow our educators and staff the opportunity to do this vital work of working with our children. And we thank you for being the foundation for their success. So I'd like to take a moment to give a round of applause to our families. So as a recovering social studies teacher, there always has to be a quote. The late educator and astronaut Krista McCollum beautifully summarized our profession of education when she said, simply, I touch the future, I teach. Not everyone in this room gathered this evening is a teacher, but everyone in this room has shaped the future of our students. The retirees we honor tonight embody this sentiment entirely. The mission of the Hendrick Hudson Central School District is to ensure that our students are engaged, passionate learners who achieve their maximum potential and contribute to our society. Each of you has lived out this mission daily. You have been the driving force behind our supportive community, guiding students towards their maximum potential and shaping the future of our society. Your legacy will continue to resonate in the lives of our students you've inspired. And again, you have my personal thanks for a job well done. So every good celebration needs clear logistics. We'll go over those now. We are going to call up the direct supervisor, direct relationship that our retirees have to say a few words because they are often who know them best. So I'll call up the names. We ask that you come up, I will call the individual who will be saying words on the district's behalf for you. When you come up, Dr. Garcia will have a wonderful parting gift to you, symbolizing the different lifestyle you are probably going to enjoy in the days ahead. After the words are said, we'll ask you to go back to your very comfy blue seat. And then at the end, there is a mandatory fun component to this where we ask you to come up for a group picture. So that's how we'll approach these things, and we'll see how long it takes me to mess it up. So our first honoree this evening, I would like to call Lori Barthelmess, teaching assistant from Furnace Woods, and Mr. Cohen to speak on her behalf.
All right, so I've only had the privilege of working together with Lori for a couple of years, but I've enjoyed them very much so. And I tried to think, like, what can I share? So I looked back to a getting to know you interview, which I asked each staff member to do to help build community. And Lori said, about Hen Hud, it's great how everyone comes together to support our students, staff, and community. And I think that's also a great description of you. You come together to support whatever need that arises every day, whether it's running centers in the classroom, leading the class when teachers are at training or absent, helping at lunch or recess, arrival, dismissal. You're always there to help our team. You know, words that come to mind are steady, consistent, dependable when describing you. And I always like to say, like, what do the kids and the staff that you work with say about you? Are you ready for it? All right, this is the kids. Mrs. B, helping us is very much appreciated. They describe you as nice, brave, like a ray of sunshine. Nice to all of our classes, nice to all of our students. You really help Mrs. Ferrari and Leahy. You're the best, hard worker, great teacher, helpful when I'm stuck on a math problem, a good sport, nice to everyone, that was a big theme. Thanks for taking our lunch orders. Kind, thanks for being a great lunch helper, always helping. You're great to talk to when I have problems. You check in with us every morning. You help with journaling. You're sweet. I like what you do to help us. Thanks for making sure we don't get hurt and subbing for Mr. Bruno when he's out. It was very specific. Thanks for helping me tie my shoes and helping charge our Chromebooks. You're so fun. Thanks for helping when Miss Ferrari has a group at her table. And then the teachers that you work with also said some words. So, you're an incredible asset. You've created meaningful relationship with every student that you work with. You bring warmth, patience, and positivity every day. You will be greatly missed, and they wish you all the happiness and relaxation in your exciting new chapter of retirement. Miss Ferrari, who you worked with for many years. Mrs. B is a gem. She's been blessed to work with you for the past 8 years or so. You're like her right hand. You even finish her sentences at times. You've been a key piece of the puzzle in providing students with kindness, love, and support that they need throughout the day. Whether it's a small group, a science lesson, you're always there, ready to go and face the day with a smile on your face. No matter what the situation, your presence and calm voice have consistently provided a feeling of peace for all of the students and the teachers. You've been a wonderful asset to Ms. Ferrari and to Hen Hud, grateful to call you a colleague, and even more grateful to call you a friend. You'll surely be missed more than she can express. Congratulations, we'll miss you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Cohen. Next, I'd like to invite, so I had a special conversation with our next honoree, and I want to call Gwen, who does not want me to use the last name because she did not want me to butcher it. And I will refer to her as Gwen, the bus driver with the books. And Anthony Merlini will be speaking on her behalf. I learned a lovely story that Gwen would find children's books to help our children on the bus become engaged, build a community on the bus, and I think we've determined that it's a legacy that you have left by many students remembering that about you. So I will stop talking and turn it over to you.
Good evening, everyone. We gather here today to celebrate the majority of the milestones of always retirees. And after 15 plus incredible years of keeping our community children safe, Gwen has finally hung up her keys. So 15 years as a school bus driver is a remarkable achievement. To put that in perspective, it means waking up before the sun for over 2,700 mornings. It means navigating icy winter roads, pouring rain, and endless traffic, all while managing a bus full of energetic kids. But being a great school bus driver isn't just about steering a big yellow vehicle. It takes a special kind of patience, warmth, and creativity. For a decade and a half, Gwen has been the very first face of students saw in the morning and the last reassuring wave goodbye in the afternoon. You weren't just driving the route, you were creating a community on wheels. We all know how chaotic a school bus can get, but as the superintendent said, Gwen had a secret weapon. By playing books on tape for students, she didn't just keep the bus calm, she turned daily commutes into storytime adventures. Generations of kids didn't just ride a school bus, they listened to worlds of imagination come alive. All thanks to Gwen's thoughtfulness. You made sure every single child felt safe, entertained, and welcome on the bus. You have watched a generation of kids grow up from your rearview mirror. Some of the younger students from your first years of the road are now adults and still remembers the stories they shared with you. Now that the route ahead of you is entirely your own, there are no more pre-trip inspections in the freezing cold. There are no more strict afternoon schedules. Your only job now is relaxation, enjoying your well-deserved freedom. On behalf of the parents, the schools, and the hundreds of children you safely delivered home every day, thank you, Gwen, for 15 years of dedication, care, and storytelling. Please join me in wishing Gwen a very happy and healthy retirement.
I'd now like to call up our next honoree, Ms. Frances Dodaro.
Turn this around and hopefully I don't break in. Don't yell at me. Anyway, so welcome. Few words about Miss Dodaro. So hopefully I didn't get this wrong. So Fran began her journey as an administrative assistant at Hendrick Hudson School District over 30 years ago. Appointed as a senior office assistant for the curriculum office on October 7th, 1996. See? 2 years later, she was promoted to be the secretary for the assistant superintendent for personnel and curriculum. She has worked with the district's revolving door of HR administrators ever since. Over 30 years, Fran has influenced the professional lives of all district employees, affecting, this is important, 73,178 children who have walked through these doors since 1996. I've only had the privilege of working with Fran since July 2024, but it was obvious to me at the outset that she is an important and valued member of the school system and this learning community. And it was important for me, I think, to ask the rest of the employees here what they think of Fran and what they have to say. So I asked employees throughout the district to share with me their thoughts about Fran, and the responses were overwhelming, but 3 themes emerged. 1, exceptional knowledge and professionalism. Fran is described as a definitive, quote, answerwoman and, quote, lifesaver due to her unmatched knowledge of the school district, procedures, HR information, and history. She serves as a primary, quote, go-to person for guidance, advice, and resolving issues, acting as the, quote, anchor that keeps this district running. 2, kindness, support, and compassion. Fran is widely appreciated for her genuine care, kindness, warmth, patience, and understanding, which she extended to employees, retirees, and the community. She consistently makes people feel supported, valued, and comfortable, often going above and beyond to help answer questions promptly and provide peace of mind during those overwhelming times, such as maternity and medical leaves. 3, significant district impact. Fran's influence is evident across the employment life cycle, often being the first friendly face that new employees meet and one of the last people they work with before retirement. She is irreplaceable, and her dedication, experience, and positive presence, including her energy, laughter, and warm professionalism, will be deeply missed by the staff and the community. Luckily, this is not a goodbye for us, but what I like to say, a see you around as our benefits expert. We all wish Fran a well-deserved retirement, which is filled with love, family, and friends. And thank you, Fran, for unwavering commitment to dedication to this district.
One thing that is so wonderful about where we work in the district office is the fact that we have wonderful colleagues such as Fran. We'll also recognize another one of our wonderful colleagues a little bit later, Felice. But there are children in our district office. We don't just go out there and grab them. But there is a family atmosphere in our district office, which I truly believe helps ground us in reminding us why we're all here. So thank you to Fran, Felice, and Debbie. You're not retiring, but Debbie is up too. So. I'd now like to invite our next honoree, Ms. Diane Ellis, to the podium, as well as Dr. Kramer.
Good evening, everyone. So, Mrs. Ellis began working in Hen Hud in 2004. She had a variety of different roles, including substituting and covering long-term leaves. She's been teaching kindergarten for the past 9 years, and if you ask her, that's where she found her home, in kindergarten. I've had the pleasure of working with her for 4 of those years, and it has always been a joy. Diane always has a smile on her face. She arrives at school early every day. She's typically either walking in with me or right in front of me when I arrive, and she's ready to teach and eager to support every child in her classroom. She enjoys working with her grade level team and can always be counted on to collaborate and support her colleagues. Diane recently became a grandmother for the first time, and I know this played a big role in her decision to retire. So Diane, enjoy your time with baby Cal, and we will miss you at BB.
I had the opportunity to meet Diane's grandson, and he's already dressed in Hen Hud blues. So. I'd now like to welcome our next honoree, Ms. Kathleen Tuchek, to join us, as well as Anicia McGill to speak on.
Tonight, we are honored to recognize Kathy Fuchek for her many years of dedicated service to the Hendrick Hudson School District and the countless contributions she has made to our school community. Throughout her career, Kathy has consistently demonstrated true Sailor pride through her commitment to students, colleagues, and, last, the Frank G. Lindsay community. Whether leading the science fair, attending Ashokan alongside students, or serving as grade level leader during her final year, Kathy has consistently continued to give her time, energy, and heart to ensuring meaningful experiences for children and staff alike. She has provided an excellent education, guidance, and support to countless students over the years, leaving a lasting impact on generations of families. Kathy, thank you for your dedication, leadership, and care for our students. Your contributions to Frank G. Lindsay and Hendrick Hudson School District will never be forgotten. We wish you happiness, relaxation, late mornings, and a long and healthy retirement.
So before I introduce our next honoree, there's a theme that 2 of our honorees tonight had, and we'll talk about them when they come up. The power of using students to influence a superintendent's decision. And just leaving that there, I will welcome our next honoree, Mr. John Glassoff, to come to the podium and have Mr. Glassoff was the master at having his class teach me things. And I will always remember that. Thank you.
Mr. Glassow. All right. I've only had the pleasure of working with John for 2 years, but he has been at Hen Hud for 23, is that true? Okay, that's what I was told. During the past 2 years, I've come to appreciate his sense of humor and easygoing manner with the kids. I will miss the authentic country music, no Kids Bop versions, coming from the gym on a daily basis, and the friendly adversarial sports banter as John roots for his New York Jets and I for my New England Patriots. In addition to teaching, John loves to coach. He's coached a variety of teams in the district, most notably the varsity softball team, which made it to the sectional finals last year and won the sectionals in 2007, I was told. Yeah. John recently also became a grandparent for the first time, so I'm sure he's going to be spending a lot of his time with baby Sienna as he settles into retirement. Enjoy every minute.
For our next honoree, I would like to invite Ms. Lucy Cole to the podium and have Mr. Cohen say a few words.
All right, Lucy, how are you? So Lucy was in the district before I got to work with her, but my experience was back in 2018. And back then, we not only had like a screening interview round, we had demo lessons for teaching assistants. So what impressed me about Lucy was her reflection, which was part of the assignment. And she was really able to recognize what the students were doing well. You were able to recognize like adjustments that if you had to teach a small group, you would do differently. And you were able to come up with next steps for each child. And to Superintendent Trombley's earlier point, you know, everyone's a teacher when you're in the building. Everyone has something to give to kids, no matter what the position is. And you did a great job of that. You brought that skill set that I just described every single day when working with students, acknowledging the positives of children, while also helping them learn new materials, study skills, organization, and so on. In your Getting to Know You interview, you shared that you love our Hen Hud family, the kind and welcoming staff and students who always have a smile on their faces. You wanted to make a difference, help, and were ready to work hard. What was also impressive in that email that you had sent was you looked for feedback to further improve your skill set, which not everyone is willing to do, and that is an impressive reflective trait. And now here's some things the kids said about you. You helped me understand math. You help me keep my pencil sharp. Whenever I'm confused, I can come to you and talk it out. You keep things organized and help Mrs. Hill. I hope you have a nice retirement. Mrs. Hill thanked you for your help these past couple of years and said, I hope you're able to leave with some fond memories of your years at Hen Hud. Enjoy your retirement. No alarm clock anymore. Congratulations.
We'll ask Mr. Cohen to stay up for Dr. Lefevre.
Dr. Lefevre. When I first started back in 2011, that was my first ever time as principal, first year, and part of my getting to know everybody was an entry plan. And lo and behold, 10 days later, when I'm trying to find out things, there you are, we're meeting together, and I quickly learned how valuable a resource and a great person that you are. You started by talking about how proud you were of our school, the community members, and how much you enjoyed watching them grow through the years. When asked about your basic beliefs and values that drive you every day, you said, every day's a new day. You also said, I'm willing to do whatever works, and that could vary from day to day. You made sure to meet students and families' basic needs. You were always thinking about the big picture, and help learn in a fun and playful fashion. And approximately 15 years later, these are still ringing true with your day-to-day actions. A self-described professional student, you possess 2 masters, a doctorate, am I missing anything? Bachelor's, and you're always reading books, articles, sharing research for us to discuss together, and you're always aiming to further improve and enhance our community. You're a great advocate, and one of our first collaborations was an age-appropriate playground for BV that met the various needs of our youngsters. With some persistence and research, we were able to have that dream materialized by our second year together. You always offered to help. I'll say an unofficial teacher in charge. You shared that you would always be happy to help with any of the older kids who were struggling for whatever reason. They didn't even have to be yours in kindergarten, which showed how much you truly cared about the entire school and all of our kids, not just the current class in front of you. And more often than not, we've said this a lot, you always seem to be in the right place at the right time when needed. Along those lines, you were often involved in community events such as guest reader at Barnes & Noble Night, staying late for school functions like PTA meetings, helping out a first-year principal and supporting him at those functions. And you led efforts like Toys for Tots. I showed her a picture earlier today, back in the day, and I think you did that for many years, raising funds for that. You helped with scheduling. You would ride on the bus if a child was having a hard time. You helped with family outreach. You went along with new initiatives, like a weekly newsletter. We haven't done that. At the time, it seemed like a great idea. Reading buddies, catch of the day, and anything else that came up, and it was always appreciated. When visiting your classroom through the years, you would see kids dancing, acting, playing, talking, and collaborating with each other, having fun. You'd always talk about real-world jobs where the skills would come in handy. And there'd be many lessons and experiences about a favorite bird, the penguin. One of the areas I find most important is what the kids say about you. So, in summary, they talked about how caring you are, helping them learn, playing fun math games, a good teacher, nice, you make learning fun. She helped me in pre-K and let us have extra recess too. Very kind, helped me with math, thanks for being a fun teacher. So, congratulations again on retirement. Best of luck as a future consultant around purposeful play in school or whatever you decide to do. Congratulations.
So Dr. Lefevre, please know that that wonderful penguin that your class drew for me a few years ago still remains proudly in my office, and I look at it fondly and will think of our time together. Thank you. I'd now like to ask Felice Passarelli to please come to the district. So Jill Figueroa was going to say some words, but she is not here this evening. I will read some words that she sent. But Felice, before I do read those, thank you for your years of service behind the scenes, ensuring that our students had what they needed from a financial standpoint so that they could be successful. Your legacy will be in the number of students that you have allowed to access their education, have the funds they need, and I wish you nothing but the best in retirement. So congratulations. Felice, as you embark on this new chapter, this is from Ms. Jill Figueroa. Felice, as you embark on this new chapter of your life, I want to take a moment to express my deepest gratitude for the contributions you have made to the Hendrick Hudson Central School District Business Office over the past 17 and a half years. Although we have only had the opportunity to work together for a short time, I know that you have had an impact on the business office team, and you brought positivity and professionalism to the operations of our district. Thank you for your years of service and for paving the way for those of us who will follow. Wishing you all the best in your retirement. May it be filled with joy, relaxation, and new adventures. Enjoy your family time. Good luck, and thank you. So our next honoree, before I call Janet Rose up to the podium, holds a special place in my heart because she was the first teacher who invited me into her classroom to read to students. And I think there was a hidden movement to try to get me to cancel school the next day because it was about a snow day. And believe it or not, we canceled school the next day. So I'd like to call Ms. Janet Rose to the podium.
This one's going to be tough. Ms. Rose has been teaching kindergarten and first grade in HUD for, I thought it was 34 years, but your bio in the program said 35.
Yeah, the first one was in Brooklyn.
Okay, so 34, I was right, thank you. She's been with me as a first grade teacher since my start in HUD. During those 12 years, I've grown to admire and respect Janet as a teacher and as a mom. Sorry. Her youngest, Ryan, who's here tonight with his sisters Shannon and Megan, is the same age as my twins, so we often swapped stories as the kids reached the same milestones throughout the years. Janet and I didn't always agree on things. I could always count on her to ask the difficult questions during faculty meetings and when implementing new initiatives. But I knew her questions were coming from a place of wanting to ensure she was doing everything she could to meet the needs of her students. Janet, although I won't miss your tough questions, I will miss seeing the amazing work that was done in your classroom every day. Enjoy retirement. Keep me posted on your world travels. You'll be missed.
I would now like to call up to the podium Mr. Craig Solomon and Ms. Lisa Martino Alves to speak on the stage.
Good evening, everyone. It is a real honor to take a few moments tonight to recognize Craig Solomon as one of this year's retirees and to congratulate him as he prepares to close this chapter of an extraordinary career at Hendrick Hudson. Craig's legacy at Hendrick Hudson is difficult to capture in just a few words because his impact is felt in so many ways. As a teacher, coach, colleague, mentor, friend, and proud sailor. A former sailor himself, Craig has always represented Hen Hud with pride, respect, dignity. He understands what this place means, and for more than 30 years, he has helped shape that meaning for generations of students and athletes. What stands out most about Craig is that he puts students first, whether in physical education or in the field or in everyday conversations. He pushes young people to be better, not just stronger athletes or better students, but better people. His tough love comes from a place of deep care. He holds high expectations because he believes students are capable of meeting them. Craig's dedication is also visible in the commitment he makes every day just to be here. He travels a long distance from Long Island, arriving early and staying late because our students, athletes, our colleagues, and school community matter to him. That kind of commitment speaks volumes about who he is and what Hen Hud means to him. Craig is also a steady presence for his colleagues. Many describe him as someone who listens, offers wisdom, has their backs, and helps make difficult days easier. He mentors young professionals, models courage and leadership, and reminds those around him not to lose sight of what matters most, doing right by students, and then going home to be present for family. His impact on our physical education department, our athletics program, our football program, and the larger Hen Hud community is immeasurable. He has helped build character, discipline, pride, and lifelong bonds that extend far beyond the classroom and far beyond the field. Craig, as you prepare for retirement, I hope you know how deeply respected you are and how much you will be missed. Your legacy will continue in the students you teach, the athletes you coach, the colleagues you support, and the sailor pride you carry so strongly. Congratulations on an incredible career. We wish you and your family joy, health, and many well-deserved years ahead. Sail on, Craig.
So Craig has received the last towel we have handed out this evening. I do want to make sure that if there is any other honoree that has joined us who did not let us know that they were going to be here, we want to take a moment, if you are in the crowd, to please come up and we can recognize you. Okay. In a few moments, I will be making a recommendation to the Board of Education to make a motion to go into recess and for a 5-minute recess. And during that recess, we invite all retirees as your last obligatory, mandatory, fun piece of your job to come up for a photo at the podium so we can capture this very special moment. So President Silverman, I recommend that the board enter into a 5-minute recess.
I'd like to ask for a motion for the board to enter into a 5-minute recess.
Motion for a 5-minute recess?
Second. All in favor?
The board will reconvene in approximately 5 minutes. Welcome back. May I ask for a motion to reopen the meeting?
Motion. Second?
All in favor? Carmen, do we have anybody here for any non-agenda items, audience comments? Okay, so looking at our consent agenda, does anybody have anything they would like to pull from the consent agenda? May I ask for a motion to approve the consent agenda as stated?
Motion to approve the consent agenda is stated. Second?
All in favor? So that brings us to one item that was removed from the consent agenda previously, which is an approval of a donation for the Barbara Katzenstein Scholarship Fund. This would be for a total of $750 for the Barbara Katzenstein Scholarship Fund. The Office of Special Education has received donations in the amount of $750 to be utilized to pay for partial summer camp funding for students with significant handicapping conditions. May I ask for a motion to approve this donation of $750?
Motion to approve the donation. Second?
All in favor? Okay. Carmen, do we have anyone here for audience comments on agenda items?
We do not.
I am turning it back over to you, Mike.
Thank you, President. Figure it out one of these days. Thank you, President Silverman. As far as the superintendent update, I would like to point all of the board members to the wonderful writing implement that I told you can't touch until I tell you to. At this point in time, you may touch it. These are specially designed pens that have been given to you as a gift from some of our wonderful students who attend Putnam Northern Westchester BOCES programs. And they have created these pens as a token of their appreciation for your support of their attendance at BOCES. So thank you to our students. Thank you to our partners at Putnam Northern Westchester BOCES. And may you use them with pride.
Thank you. Thank you. That's pretty.
And I did not speak to them about the colors on the beads that match my presentation. So the only other item I have before we move on to the cabinet update is just a reminder that our final Parent University session will be held on June 8th from 5 to 6 p.m. right here in the high school library. Please come out and join us. But because we do have such a wonderful partner in Greg has been recording all of them, and once the series is done, we will go ahead and post those online for posterity, and so anybody who was not able to attend can view those. So at this time, I will, I do want to take a moment. The world of education exists for one purpose, and that is to make sure that we support children no matter where they are. We are called as educators and as a community to keep children safe and to keep them free from harm and to gather around when children are in need of help. The region experienced a tragedy this past day where a fire claimed the lives of 2 youngsters in Putnam Valley. And so on behalf of the District of Hendrick Hudson, and the board has asked me as well on their behalf to express our deepest condolences to the Putnam Valley Central School District for the loss of 2 of their students and the tragedy that is taking place with a family within their district. We have offered our assistance in whatever way, shape, or form to the Putnam Valley Central School District, and we stand united with them as they mourn and as they look to move on in remembrance of the 2 children that they have lost. So I'd like to ask for President Silverman a brief moment of silence. And so again, we offer our condolences to the community of Putnam Valley, and we stand ready to assist in whatever way they deem appropriate. That is the superintendent's update at this time. I will now turn it over to our Executive Director for Technology and Innovation, Ms. Benita Joy, for her update.
So I wasn't quite ready for the update, but I'll update you on 2 things that are going on in the technology department. First thing, we've been busy working on our inventory system because just a month ago, we were told by the current system as of September 1st, they were going out of business and we needed to move to a new system. So it's been fun cleaning up a lot of the data that I was not responsible for, and trying to get it into the new system. But it's also our music inventory system, so been working with the music department as well in putting their system into our inventory system. And the second update is, this was actually in the budget for next year, which is a email security system called Checkpoint. But if you have a Henhead Schools account, you probably saw my email going out on the last phishing attack that we had. We had over 67 people who actually clicked on that email, and it was not a fun day for my tech team going around trying to make sure that everybody was okay. So this expedited that project ahead of time. I reached out to our consortium, Lyric. They knew that I was going to be buying the system, so we worked it out that they're willing to do a longer pilot, free pilot for us. So we're currently, last week we activated the system. The way that it works is it basically studies your email flow for about a weekend to see like how emails are interacting, people are interacting with emails. So we had a result that we reviewed with the team. After reviewing that, I was like, turn it on, because this is insane. So right now it's not turned on. We've been working towards turning that on. But I can manually quarantine people with phishing emails right now, so I constantly look at it and I pull emails out of people's inboxes before they click on it. Once you turn it on, the system is supposed to do that automatically. Also, we do have a lot of what we call DLP violation, data loss prevention violation, which means we're not supposed to be sending out driver's license, social security numbers, student PII information over the email. So it warns all of that right now. So we do have several violations of that happening in the email system. So the new email security rule is going to be encrypting those messages automatically when it leaves our Henhead Schools domain. So that way when if a teacher or somebody is sending an email to a parent with an IEP document or something like that, it would encrypt that message and give the parent a 6-digit code to securely decrypt that message to be able to open it, which is also an audit requirement and a New York State requirement. So we've been working on that. Hopefully by next week we'll be able to turn this on and see how this is working for us. So that's my update.
Thank you, Vinitha. Vinitha, just a quick follow-up. The phishing attack, the latest that we had, came from my email account?
It did not come from your email account. You do fish a lot? No, I'm kidding. It didn't come from you, but it did have the subject line that said Michael Trombley shared something with you. So people tend to look at that when it's coming from a
Well, that's what I was going to say. Some people could look at that and say, we only had 66 people click on that out of safety, where only 66 people care to read what I sent out to them. So I don't know how we take that, but thank you.
all of our staff is smart enough not to click on it. So.
But thank you, Vinitha, for keeping us safe and secure in the technology realm. Thank you. Dr. Garcia, I know that you spent a lot of your time and efforts over the past week preparing for this evening. Is there anything that you need to update the board on before we move on to Dr. Scollins?
I don't think there's anything pressing. It's just a reminder and where we're at with hiring, and we are in hiring season for next school year. We've already made a few appointments, and then we'll continue to do so for the rest of this month and into June. Hopefully we can round things out by July 1, but things do come up. We're in the process for one particular position, administrative position, which is the assistant principal position at Hendrick Hudson High School, and we're going to began the process, but we are in full swing with it.
Thank you very much. Thank you for the update. Dr. Scollins, do you have an update from the curriculum instruction and assessment side of our schoolhouse?
Yes, my first update, that seems very loud.
is please register for kindergarten or UPK for next year. This is the time. Don't wait until the summer. It helps us in planning, so that is my plug. In the next update that comes out from our building levels as well as from Mr. Trombley, we will include the last 2 weeks of school schedule for each building, color-coded, similar to what we did last year. That will include all of the events, our showcases, our moving up ceremonies, our graduations, as well as any changes to the school day based on assessments at the middle school or the high school level. The last 3 days of school are half days for our students, where we will have a bagged lunch available at the elementary level. There is no lunch served in the building, and that is happening Tuesday the 23rd, Wednesday the 24th, and Thursday the 25th. Speaking of school schedules, as Mr. Trombley says, it's already September. In planning ahead for September, we have a really unique calendar for next school year based on how Labor Day falls. When the calendar committee met this school year to review the days as well as the local BOCES calendar and the other local school districts, we are starting school this school year before Labor Day. So we will have one superintendent conference day and then 2 days of instruction. The first day of school for students is Wednesday the 2nd. That is a half day for our kindergarten students, but a full day for everyone else in the district. The benefit of starting earlier allowed us to be more flexible later in the school year when it came to spring break and Passover. However, that does complicate our tradition of opening our classrooms with our teachers and our meet and greet during our 2 days of Superintendent Conference Day previously. So we're working with building principals who will be scheduling time for families to come and tour the buildings the week prior to school coming. Our teachers won't be there, but our principals will be facilitating those events. And then we will be prioritizing especially our elementary K-1-2 back to school nights within that first week after Labor Day. So a little bit of a change, and it looks like next year, the following year, 27-28, the way Labor Day falls, we may be in a similar situation.
Thank you, Dr. Scollins. And now I'll ask Mr. Chris Moreno, our Acting Director for Pupil Personnel Services, for his update.
Thank you. So we are winding down our annual review season here, so we're completing most of our CSEs prior to our July 1st deadline. In addition to that, we're finalizing the last few items for our ESY program, our extended school year program, which will be housed at Furnace Woods Elementary and the high school for our secondary students. And I just wanted to also share that I had the pleasure of meeting with the Katzenstein family recently, and due to their generous donations, they are going to be facilitating 8 of our students attending summer camps this summer that would not otherwise be able to. So a special thanks to them and everything they do. They're wonderful, and thank you to them.
Thank you to them. Thank you, Mr. Moreno. Before I will tell my kids to go to bed and turn it back over to Ms. Silverman, I do want to just put in one final plug for a fantastic event we have coming up this Saturday for our Centennial Gala. The attire is smart casual, and festivities will begin promptly.
I just want to say, I've been told that may not be true.
Oh, okay.
But that's how I'll be dressing.
Okay. So
The attire I heard is cocktail attire. So what you might wear to a cocktail hour, like a little suit, shirt, and tie. Dresses for women does not have to be a gown, but a dress or something that you would wear.
believe it or not, growing up on a farm, I have no idea what that means, so I will defer to my better half of my wife to identify what I should wear. But I look forward to joining the community in celebrating this milestone of 100 years of Hendrick Hudson High School at this wonderful community event, which will be the gala. We have wonderful MCs lined up for the evening. There will be dancing, there will be wonderful food. We did an advanced scouting party at a previous conference where individuals from our district attended a conference and said the food there was fantastic. So we look forward to, you can notice this is a light component because this is meant to be a fun celebratory evening where we celebrate the legacy of 100 years of Hendrick Hudson High School and hopefully celebrating the entrance of 100 more years of Hendrick Hudson High School, at least. So with that, I will turn it back over to you, President Silverman, for the remainder of the agenda.
Next on the agenda are board comments or new business. Anybody have anything for that? And then we move on to our committee reports. Has anybody had any committee reports since last week?
I have the same report for the PTA Advocacy Committee. Lots of exciting stuff happening, so just pay attention. The new letter's coming out. It's ready to go. It's been published, but the PTA Advocacy Committee will send out a blast email so everybody will get it at the same time. And then I also attended, Lauren and I attended the HHEPTA meeting last week, earlier this week?
Yeah, last week.
Yes, sometime in the past. And there's some upcoming dates that I think are important. The FGL Book Fair kids did their preview look today at the Scholastic Book Fair, so apply for credit cards now because there's posters and all sorts of stuff. Family Fun Night on Friday, which includes game night and a movie. And then they're having their end of the year volunteer appreciation at Rosarito. So if anybody here who has contributed to the elementary school PTA wants to go, it's a really fun event where they honor all the volunteers and everybody just gets to talk, but there's no work involved. And then the Spring Carnival at Frank G on Saturday, June 20th from 2 to 5 p.m. And that's always a really fun time. And they'll be looking for volunteers for that soon too.
I didn't go to a meeting since the last one, but I'm just going to put another plug out there because it's the next meeting happens before our next meeting. June 11th, there is another SEPTA meeting, which will be the last one for the school year. Anybody have any other committee reports?
Just two from my perspective. There was a safety committee meeting last Thursday led by our partners at Alteris. And then also we have held 2 meetings of our district shared decision-making committee. The agenda topics have included a review of a required annual review of our shared decision-making plan, an update from our building principals on how their site-based teams function this year, and also the items that their site-based teams weighed in on. We've also begun that entity doing a review of our code of conduct in anticipation of board annual required review, and we'll also be discussing the current closed campus policy at that shared decision-making level at the next meeting coming up.
Okay, and then the last thing on our agenda is policy readings. We have 4 tonight, and they are all second readings that we had from 2 meetings ago, or the last meeting. I don't even remember anymore. Last
2
meeting.
meetings ago. It was the last meeting.
We tabled policy.
Yeah. Okay, so the first one that we have for our second reading tonight is policy 1222, relationship with booster organizations. The Board of Education recognizes...
Second.
All in favor? Okay, so this one again is not saying we cannot have booster organizations, but it is just a way to organize and make sure that everyone is aware of all of the boosters that are happening and making sure that it aligns with district protocols.
That's good.
Motion to approve policy 1222.
Second.
All in favor? Policy 1222, relationship with booster organizations, has been approved. The next one we have is the second reading of revision of policy 5151, school admissions, with the number change to 5150. The Hendrick Hudson Schools.
Motion to waive the reading.
Second.
All in favor? Okay, so this one again just outlined, it was, it's not a required one, but it just changed. We had it, so we were just changing the wording to be consistent with the new legal requirements.
And renumbering.
And a renumbering to keep it in line with what NISBA had recommended.
Motion to approve policy 5150.
Second.
All in favor? Policy 5150, school admissions, has been approved. The next one we have is the second reading of revision of policy 5460 with a rename to child abuse, maltreatment, or neglect in a domestic setting. The Board of Education recognizes...
Motion to waive the reading.
Second.
All in favor? This one again is required, and we had a policy on this, but we updated it again based on legal needs to go through who are our mandated reporters and how they report.
Motion to approve policy 5460.
Second?
All in favor? Policy 5460, child abuse, maltreatment, or neglect in a domestic setting has been approved. And the last one we have on our agenda is the second reading of policy 8121.2, automated external defibrillators. My favorite word.
AEDs, remember we're calling them AEDs.
So I'm just bringing it up. The Board of Education recognizes.
Motion to waive the reading.
Second?
All in favor? Okay, so this one is a new one, and this was something that we have been working on to make sure that they are in all the locations that are needed, in not just like on the main campuses, but we even talked about the bus facility by the tennis courts and everything, and the signage. So we just wanted to have it marked and in our policy book that we are compliant
Yes,
with.
and this is the one that we are adding to the 8,000s because we have one in the 5,000s, but once this one's added, we'll retire that one.
Yes.
That's it.
Motion to approve policy 8121.2.
Second?
All in favor? Policy 8121.2 has been approved. At this time, there is nothing else on our agenda. We do not have to go back to exec, so I'd like to ask for a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Motion to adjourn the meeting.
Second?
All in favor? Have a wonderful evening.